So thank you for those of you that are joining us. My name is Chris and my pronouns are he and him. And I'd like to start this evening with a land acknowledgement. While you may be joining me from anywhere in the world, myself and many of my colleagues are here in London, Ontario. And I'd like to acknowledge the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Lenape, and the Attawandaron peoples, whose traditional lands I am gathered upon today. We're excited to have you here for the Faculty of Information and Media Studies presentation. Before I go through the itinerary for this webinar, I'd like to go through some housekeeping items. We've enabled closed captioning, so you will be able to find a live transcript button on your Zoom button bar, and you can select Show Subtitle. Remember, this is live closed captioning, so we cannot guarantee the accuracy. Next, your video and your audio will remain off today, but that doesn't mean we won't be interacting together. We'll have polls and we want to answer all of your questions. You can submit those questions using the question and answer box, which you will find at the bottom of your screen. You can enter questions now or whenever you think of them. I'm joined by lots of friends today from Western, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. So what else is happening tonight? Up on the screen there, you'll see an agenda. We're going to start tonight with a welcome from Dr. Lisa Henderson, Dean of the Faculty of Information and Media Studies, followed by a quick tour, virtual of course, of our FIMS nursing building, or FNB. Joining us after will be Dr. Susan Kanabi, the Associate Dean Undergraduate and an Associate Professor. Susan is jointly appointed to both FIMS and the Department of Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies. Following that, we're going to let our students take over and let you hear about both the first year and the upper year experiences. Closing out the evening will be a mini lecture featuring Dr. Joanna Redden. We hope you'll join us for the entire event, which should be under an hour, but if you can't, no worries. There will be a recording available on our website in 3 to 4 days. And don't forget to sign up for our other events. You're here for a faculty night. We also have upcoming presentations for Your Next Steps, which covers everything you need to know before coming to Western. We also have residence and student experience presentations. Recordings will also be available on demand after these events. You can find them all on our website at the same place you signed up for this evening, welcome.uwo.ca/presentations. And lastly, I want to mention our open house will be held on Saturday, May the 7th. So let's get the evening started now with some polls. First poll I'm going to launch here is going to be, where are you joining us from today? Are you in London, Ontario, somewhere else in Ontario, somewhere else in Canada, or are you outside of Canada? No matter where you are, I'd like to welcome you, and we're very happy that you're here this evening, and I hope you can come and join us on campus at our May open house or this fall. So we got lots of people from other places in Ontario outside of the London area, a lot of Canadians, and it's really excited to see that we actually have some folks from outside of Canada. So welcome and thank you for joining us, no matter if it's morning, evening, or afternoon, where you are. Now, I do have another poll that I'd just like to launch as well, and that is, who's with you today? It's important to get some support when you're coming to university. Maybe you have someone else from your family, some friends watching. Maybe there's 2 of you thinking about coming to Western, or maybe you're joining us with your cat, your dog, or some other pets. We'll give it another few seconds for that poll, and then we'll end it. Let's have a look at those results. So a lot of folks joining us with family. Hello, family. Hello, mom and dad, if you are there, or brothers and sisters. Thanks for supporting your child or your sibling in their journey towards university. And hello to all the pets out there as well. So we're going to continue with the next portion of the evening. And what I'd like to do is introduce the first guest, which is going to be Dr. Lisa Henderson, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Information and Media Studies, to kick things off and to welcome you to Western.
Thank you, Chris, and hi. Thank you, Chris, and hi, everyone.
Sorry about this, folks. Just 1 second.
Thank you, Chris, and hi, everyone. I really love those polls. It's lovely to get just a glimpse of who's in the audience tonight. I am Lisa Henderson, as Chris mentioned, Dean of the Faculty of Media and Information Studies at Western, proud Dean, and I'm really happy to be here. Welcome to you all. Normally we'd be meeting in person. Perhaps you'd be with friends or family and we could introduce ourselves. We can't really do that this evening exactly, but in our faculty night, we've aimed for different voices and different points of view and chances for you to pose questions. So voices, points of view, questions, discussions, those are such FIMS hallmarks and commitments of ours. We welcome students to study media and information in the most questioning, exploratory, exciting, and creative way. I went to college in Toronto back in the 70s. If FIMS had been open to me, this is where I would have come. Be sure to listen up this evening for conversations about a new program that we have coming online called CAP, or Creative Arts and Production. That's another place to be both a thinker and a maker in collaboration with students from 3 faculties, actually, from FIMS, from the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, and from the Faculty of Music. It's a great program that you'll be able to combine with MIT, Media, Information, and Technoculture, or MPI, Media in the Public Interest. And it's another great way to be at FIMS and to be at Western. These have not been easy times. I expect I don't need to tell you that. You've been in and out of school. They haven't been easy for you or for anyone. We, of course, hope that you and all your beloveds are healthy and safe. We wish you patience. We want you to know that at the university, we always lead with everyone's health and safety. And still, there's a lot to look forward to. And we really want to welcome you to FIMS this fall. Okay, everyone, next up is FIMS student Josette Joseph's Cribs edition of our building tour. Enjoy.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to my academic crib, the Faculty of Information and Media Studies, also known as FIMS. I'm your host, Josette Joseph, and I'm a 5th-year student double majoring in MIT and visual arts. So let's check out the crib. Woo! So this is the main entrance of the FIMS and Nursing building, so come on in. So check out this super cool mural that we have right here in FIMS. The dark background shape represents a flattened version of the global map, which represents Western's global reach. And then on each side of this mural, we have 2 gargoyles that guarded the building that once stood on this very site. So welcome to FNB 1200. All of your classes are going to be scattered around campus, but the majority of your FIMS classes are going to be right here in the FIMS and Nursing building. In fact, I've had so many courses in this very classroom, such as alternative media and crash landscape. So next we're going to check out the 2nd floor, so follow me. Welcome to the 2nd floor of FNB, home to many resources such as the undergrad student services, the FIMS SC, the dean's office, and the lab. On top of having so many different resources, we also have a really cool study space right here on the 2nd floor. So this right here is our dean's office, which is the home to our dean, associate deans, and administrative staff. And then through these doors, we have even more fun stuff, so follow me. And this right here is the FIMS Creative Commons. The FIMS Creative Commons is a super cool spot to just hang out, study, watch some TV, and meet up with profs. And sometimes the faculty also converts the space into a social space used for events. So right over here, we have the home of our very own student council called the FIMS SC. On the FIMS SC, there are a wide range of leadership opportunities, and there are actually over 20 student positions available. You can get involved in things ranging from communications to wellness to academic initiatives and social initiatives such as the Media Arts Festival, charity events, and FIMS Formal. Any resource that I owe to my success in my undergrad, it is this room right here. FNB 2001 is the home to our academic advisors, our in-house career team, and our program support staff. So pretty much if you have any questions related to your academics in your undergrad, this is the place to go. And also, if you're interested in pursuing an internship in 3rd and 4th year, the advisors here are here to help you through that process, and they can connect you with partners and experiences in marketing, PR, production, and more. So this right here is FNB 2070, home of our Mac Lab, where you can take many of our elective courses such as video theory and production, photography, graphic design, web design, digital music, and podcasting. And this right here is our podcasting booth. Up on the 3rd floor, we have our equipment sign-out room, a production studio, and a second podcasting booth. And that concludes the tour of my academic crib. Thank you so much for tuning in. Unfortunately, I gotta go because I have class, but I will see you guys next fall. Peace out, future Mustangs.
Hello, everybody. First off, welcome, and let me echo Dean Henderson's congratulations. I'm delighted that all of you are going to be spending some time with us this evening, finding out a bit more about what you can expect if you decide to join us at FIMS and at Western next year. So my name is Susan Knabe, and I am the Associate Dean Undergrad at the Faculty of Information and Media Studies, home to 3 undergraduate programs: MIT, Media, Information and Technoculture, MPI, Media and the Public Interest, and a brand new program, CAP, or Creative Arts and Production. So this is a quick overview of what to expect during this faculty night. I've structured my talk in terms of the top 10 reasons to come to FIMS. So I'm going to start with reason 1. What you learn here really matters. It matters to you and it matters to the wider world. The first 2 years of the 2020s have been a masterclass on why what we study at FIMS makes a difference. Media, information, the relationship of technology to our world have been really central to the way in which our world has been shaped and reshaped in the face of the pandemic, climate catastrophes from across the globe, the invasion of the Ukraine, and the ongoing process of Indigenous reconciliation. And we have courses that cover all of these topics, bringing different perspectives to what you think you know. So media, information, and health, communicating climate change, genocide and state power, the war for war, and Indigenous perspectives in the media. You will learn about these issues from folks who are experts in their areas and who want to share their knowledge and expertise with you. Our courses also start with where you live now, on your screens, on social, and what matters to you and where you're going to be going after you leave FIMS. Sometimes these things will be the same thing. So Mina Jurgis, who graduated from MPI in 2016, has been featured in major Sephora and Calvin Klein advertising campaigns. He combines his passion for social media, celebrity, and fashion with his passion for social justice issues related to the LGBTQ community, to body positivity, and what it means to come from an immigrant family and community. At FIMS, you can study what interests you, make a difference in the world, and be ready to hit the ground running when you graduate. Reason number 2, no matter what your interests are or your future will be, FIMS offers you programs and courses that you can connect with. Our MIT, or Media Information and Technoculture program, provides you with a grounding to understand how these 3 factors combine. Not only can you learn more about why media representation matters, but you will also learn about how those representations come into being and how they circulate within our culture through courses like the political economy of media and the culture of celebrity. At the same time, you will learn that the platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, through which these representations circulate also matter, including how your clickstream or data exhaust has been monetized, the ways in which filter bubbles online come to affect political outcomes offline, and the insidious ways in which bias structures the algorithms that are increasingly shaping our lives, including how we move through cyberspace and through neighborhoods and across national borders. And so there's a spoiler alert. Joanna Redden's talk at the end of this session provides a different way of thinking about data and social justice. So look forward to that. At the same time, understanding the way that the business side of media operates helps you to identify and develop opportunities that other people may not have noticed. So one of our graduates, Brian Gold, who graduated from MIT in 2014, recognized early on the way in which social media and monetization operates and launched #paid, recognizing the labor that influencers perform for brands. He's been named by Forbes as one of their top 30 under 30. Reason number 3, if you want to make a difference in the world and in your community, FIMS is for you. Our unique MPI, or Media and the Public Interest program, explores the way that media and the circulation and production of information are intimately connected to social justice movements around the globe and locally. Media and information are important sites of control and resistance, and courses like Media and Social Movements, Digital Activism, and Alternative Media, which Josette mentioned in her Cribs video, give you the tools to think about how you can make a difference in the world around you. It also gives you the opportunity to put this into practice through a required 4th-year practicum course that pairs you with a not-for-profit organization. Justine Morgan did her MPI practicum course with Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis in 2010. Almost 4 years ago, she returned to the organization where she's currently working as a resource development and communications manager. Reason number 4, we have you covered if you aren't completely sure what you want to focus on. Western allows you time to figure out what interests you and how you can best pursue this. Typically, students decide on their modules at the end of 1st year. And the common 1st year at Western helps give you this flexibility. As Taya will tell you in a couple of minutes, there are lots of supports available to help you decide what courses to take and how to navigate 1st year. What I'm sharing with you now is a bit of a snapshot of what a typical 1st year looks like. Students take their required courses, the 1.5 MIT required courses, but are also free to take other 1st-year courses from across the university as electives. These courses will include required courses for other modules that you're considering taking, general interest courses, and courses that will help you meet university breadth requirements. This flexibility is designed with the recognition that students may well change their mind about what they want to study, particularly once they have a chance to see what's out there in a university. The common first year means that students won't be locked into a program that no longer meets their needs. Mina, who I mentioned earlier, started his career at Western in science. We start conversations about course selection in summer during SAO, or summer academic orientation, when all students will have the opportunity to meet with an advisor to discuss their future and course choices. FIMS academic advisors are always happy to meet with students to discuss course and program choices, and I strongly urge students to make use of this support system, particularly as it can be daunting to make big decisions. Normally, students take 5.0 courses in their first year, or 10 half courses over the 2 terms. Taya's first year looked like this, and I will let her tell you a little bit more about what her experience was like now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taya, and I am from North Vancouver, BC. I'm currently in my 2nd year, and I am pursuing an honors specialization in media information and technoculture, and I plan to combine this with an IB business degree. So why Western? For me, I've always loved traveling, and I love being independent. So being at a school that was across the country from my hometown was very exciting to me. And I also really wanted that strong community feel. I wanted to feel like my school was somewhere that I could thrive academically and socially. And I was actually lucky enough to be able to come visit Western in my grade 12 year to see the campus in person. And when you're walking around on the campus and you see all the students and everyone interacting, that community feel is so evident. So Western was definitely a no-brainer. As for FIMS, I've always been really interested in media and design, and I wanted to find a program that would allow me to explore those subject areas deeper. My dream career would definitely be something that's related to marketing or advertising, potentially in the fashion industry. And FIMS allows me to learn about how those avenues interact and influence one another. Once I chose Western, the transition from high school to university, it was challenging for sure, both academically and mentally, but I found it really helpful my first year to have the summer academic orientation, the SAO. Peer leaders and Western staff will help you choose your first year courses, really get settled with what your schedule will look like. And I definitely would have missed credits had I not had that phone call in the summer. So it's definitely very helpful. There's also the Academic Success Program, which I personally did not participate in as a student, but I had the opportunity to be a leader for the program this year. And I had an amazing time helping all the first years with their academics, with making connections and learning about different resources on campus that are available to them. So it's a great program to help kind of ease that transition from high school to university. So in my first year, I lived in Ontario Hall, the residence, and I chose it because I wanted a private bathroom somewhat. I shared it with 3 other people, but I still wanted that social aspect on my floor. And you also have the option in first year to live on the FIMS Living and Learning floor in Perth Hall, which is a special community where everyone on your floor is going to be in FIMS, which is such a great way to meet people in your program and meet different friends with common interests. But also because of all the events and activities that you do in that first couple weeks of university, making friends and meeting new people is really easy no matter where you're living. You're constantly busy. Everyone is so friendly and welcoming. And I actually live off campus with friends that I met through an orientation week event, so it works. And so yeah, residence was an amazing experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone coming to Western, especially if you're out of province like myself. It's a great way to meet new people, and some of my best friends now I met in residence. So in your first year of MIT, it's fairly flexible, and I really wanted to take advantage of this when I was choosing my courses. So I did all my electives in different subject areas apart from MIT. So I took psychology, sociology, political science, and computer science, in addition to my 2 required MIT courses. As you can see here, I have my fall schedule on the left and then my winter schedule on the right. And most of my classes had tutorials accompanied to them. So I've personally found that first year lectures can be quite intimidating at first because there are a lot of people, and you're usually used to those like 20-person high school classes, 30-person high school classes. So having 600 people in your class can be a lot, but tutorials really help you have that personal connection with both your peers in the class and your teaching assistant. So you don't feel like you're in over your head. You definitely feel like you have a personal connection, you know people, you feel good with that tutorial in there. And then staying engaged for me in first year was really important. Asking questions, emailing professors, going to office hours, those were all things that really helped me stay on top of my work and not let anything pass me by. I also have a whiteboard calendar in my room, which was super helpful. I have all my assignments on it, so I really stay on top of what's due when, and so I'm not handing anything in late. And then I also use the calendar on my computer a lot. So I have everything I have to do in pink, and then I have my timely events such as lectures, exams, things like that in blue, and then I have anything non-school related in yellow. So I've got everything organized. I like to color code. It's the way for me that I get things done. With that being said, though, if I could give my first year self one bit of advice, I would say to take it easy on yourself. First year's a big change. There's a lot going on. It's very easy to get caught up in everything and go crazy. Whenever I was stressed, I like to go for walks in the snow. I'm from Vancouver, so there's no snow there. So coming here where there's a lot of snow is very exciting. Obviously pre-COVID, I went to a hockey game with some of my friends. And also if you can get a hold of a sled, going sledding on UC Hill was super fun. So these are all things that I love to do when I was stressed. But if I'm exhausted and stressed all the time, I'm not going to do well in any area of my life. So taking care of myself and taking the times to do more things like this that I do enjoy would definitely be something that I would remind myself of if I could. But overall, my first year experience is one that I will never forget. Western is such a fun and welcoming community, and that challenges you to be a better person and a better student. So I'm sure you will all, if you choose to come to Western and come to FIMS, you will have an amazing experience as well. So now I'm going to pass it back to Susan to talk about all the programs and courses that FIMS offers.
Okay, so thank you very much, Taya. I'm going to also remind you that the Q&A is open, so you can ask us questions, and we will also be staying on to answer questions at the end of the session. So just so you know that that's coming. All right, so we're up to reason 5. Western and FIMS offer you the flexibility you need to tailor your degree to fit you. So the module system at Western allows you to combine different modules to tailor make your degree. And so FIMS offers an honor specialization in MIT and MPI, and that's 9.0 courses in the subject area, and both 3- and 4-year majors in MIT and MPI, and also a major in CAP now, and that's 7.0 courses. Most of our students take either an honor specialization or a 4-year major. An honor specialization in MIT looks something like this. Of the 20 courses you take, at least 5.0 will be first-year courses, including the 5.0 required MIT courses that I showed you what that looked like earlier. Of the remaining 15 courses, you will take 9.0 MIT courses, including required courses in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year, and those are the dark purple courses, and your choice of MIT electives from across the 3 years, and that's the lighter purple electives. The other 6 courses can be electives from across the university and can include a second module, for instance, a minor or a certificate, like the one we offer in digital communication. For the MIT major, the upper years look like this. As you can see, there are fewer required MIT courses, and those are all in 2nd year. So you need to take a total of 7.0 MIT credits, 2.5 required courses, 4.5 MIT electives to complete an MIT major module. The remaining 8.0 courses are taken as electives, that's the bright green, from across the rest of the university. So this option provides you with maximum flexibility to take a variety of different courses. So approximately 5% of our students complete an honors double major. In this scenario, you identify another area of study that interests you and then complete the requirements for both your MIT major module and a major module in the other area. So it looks something like what's up on screen right now. The honors double major degree combinations that are really popular are political science, French, sociology, gender, sexuality, and women's studies, film studies, and psychology. But we also have students who do degrees in MOS, computer science, and criminology. So Emily Scarlett, who graduated in 2006 and who I taught actually in 2004, has honors degrees in MIT and women's studies. And she spent 14 years in marketing, communications, and PR for H&M and has just recently taken up a position as director of communication at NIX, KNIX, a move which she recently told FIMS students at our annual career conference allowed her to combine her expertise with her passion for sustainability and ethical consumption practices. Reason 6, our courses will change the way you think about and see the world around you, while allowing you to gain the expertise you need to figure out what you want to do next with your life. So we offer electives across a range of different areas, including ones which focus on areas that you might expect, like advertising, journalism, and media production, but also on ones that you might not have thought about, including media and identity or popular music. Moreover, because our required courses provide you with the structure you need for your degree to be comprehensive, those required courses, you can take courses from across the different elective groups, as Lorenzo will talk about in a few minutes. So he's taken MIT elective courses from at least 7 of the 10 groups listed here. Or you can focus primarily on 1 or 2 areas. What all of our courses offer is an opportunity to learn and hone the skills you need to navigate an uncertain and rapidly changing future. You'll learn to think critically, ask hard questions, and not accept easy answers, to explore alternative approaches to common problems, and communicate clearly. So you'll leave FIMS more adaptable, flexible, and resilient, aware of what you don't know, but resourceful enough to figure out how you can remedy this. But Lorenzo can tell you all about this much better than I can.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Can you guys see me? All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Lorenzo DiMano. I'm a 4th-year student doing my honor specialization in media, information, and technoculture, as well as a minor in philosophy. So just to give a bit of a background, I'll explain a bit of why I chose FIMS and Western. So I actually chose Western because coming out of high school, I was still a very dependent person. I turned to my parents for pretty much everything. I never cooked, I never did laundry. Whenever I needed to schedule an appointment, I would ask my mom to do it for me. So I actually wanted to go to a school a lot closer to where I lived so I could just commute and get to stay at home. But I knew I needed to start growing up and doing things for myself. So I knew moving to a different city would definitely help me with that. And for those of you like myself from the GTA, London is kind of the perfect distance for that because it's far enough that you get to travel somewhere. It feels like you're going on a road trip, but it's close enough that you can actually get to Toronto, downtown Toronto in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And if you're not from the GTA, well, good news, Toronto is only about 2 hours away, so you can definitely check that out. And the other reason why I also chose Western is because the campus is absolutely beautiful. I was really into that big university feel. I love the big lecture halls and where you can just walk around, enjoy the nature, see all the old school buildings as well as all the new glass ones. It's amazing. I still never get tired of it. The picture you see in the middle is the FIMS building, as you guys saw earlier. The inside is just as beautiful, and I may be a bit biased, but I think it's one of the most beautiful buildings on campus. And I actually chose FIMS because my initial interests were marketing and film, but I wasn't sure if that was what I really wanted to commit to. And while FIMS is still quite different from those subjects, there were a lot of factors about culture and society that you learn within FIMS that really give you a better insight on the way people work and the way we're affected and react to the media that we're presented, the advertising and the politics that we see all around us. And additionally, I'm also really into popular culture. I love celebrity culture and just learning about top 40 charts music and how people get up to that level. So I know what I'm saying sounds all over the place, but that's also one of the best things about FIMS. And one of my favorite things is that this program alone covers so many different subjects for you to learn about. Now, what is the program like in upper years? You may be wondering. Well, just to get it out of the way, it's a lot of essay writing, and that may sound scary at first, but I myself was not the best writer coming out of high school. I actually really hated writing, and it wasn't something I knew going into FIMS, but The thing about essay writing in university is it's actually designed to help you become a much better writer. It's designed to help you to critically think and to actually get you personally engaged in the reading material. And by the time you come out of it, you do become a much better writer. One example I can think of is whenever you have those books, is you can find the right quotes instead of nitpicking these small quotes that don't necessarily fit with your essay. You'll be able to find the things that will fit best with what you're talking about and the things that the profs are looking for. I know one worry coming into high school is that people always say, oh, the professors won't help you and it's all up to you. That's not true at all. When you get to university, the professors and the TAs and counseling are always there to help you through every step of the process, especially in essay writing. You go to their office hours and they'll actually explain to you what they're looking for and how you can improve right up until pretty much you need to submit the essay, so that it's not just that you're writing an essay for the mark, but you're writing an essay so that you actually learn to become a better writer. So that is one of the great things. But don't get me wrong, there are also a lot of hands-on production courses, and I started discovering this a lot more in my upper years. There's production, web design courses. One I took last semester, which was really cool, is podcasting. So this is my little makeshift podcast desk that we had for last semester because everything was online. And you can see our little mic stand over there. But it was a really fun time. I had no experience in audio engineering or making anything like that. And my friends and I were able to put together a full podcast for our final assignment. So it's a good time and you get a lot of different options. And as we talked about earlier, as you move up in upper years, you will get more electives and more freedom to choose within MIT or even courses outside of FIMS. So carrying off of that, the next thing I want to talk about are some of my favorite courses throughout university. So the first one was MIT 2000, which was History of Communication, which is a mandatory second year course. So if you do go into MIT, you will be taking it. And that was actually the picture that you see in the middle there. But I really enjoyed that course because it basically takes you through all the different technology and inventions from the start of civilization with the different tools and the wheel, all the way to the mechanical clock, to the printing press, and how all these things have built together and have come to be this technological world that we live in today. The other one is MIT 2159, another second year course, which was Intro to Popular Music Studies. If you're really into music, if you're into Billboard and pop music, this took you from all the music from the 40s, jazz music, all the way to 90s rap, and basically talked about how society changed throughout the decades and how the music went along with that. And that was really one of my favorite courses. Another one that I really loved was Psych 1000, which is a first year course. The picture that you see on the left was actually my very first class that I've ever taken in university. If you've ever had any thought or wondered like how your brain works, if you've ever wondered what dreams are, anything like that, just take Psych 1000. It's a great introductory course into psychology, and even just a great introductory course into how university works. You get to learn how to take notes and how to study for these things. I really enjoyed that class. And before moving on, just a quick message is the medium is the message. If you go into FIMS, if you go into MIT, you will hear that from the very first day. And that was just a cool little picture that I found while I was looking for stuff. But some skills that you will take away, I think the biggest skill that you'll take away from any program in university is critical thinking. And what that means is you start to learn how to analyze things, not just take things at face value, question things deeper. Now, this doesn't mean university is going to make you skeptical or cynical or anything like that. It might, but what it really does is help you to form your own solid opinion on a subject. And that's the same thing that I was talking about with essays, is when you're writing an essay, you don't just write it just for the mark. When you write stuff down, it helps you form your thoughts better. And this is what you really learn in university, is that you start to write essays because you actually care about the things that you're writing about. The next thing that you will take away from university is learning people. Now, from high school, you get comfortable with the people that you've grown up with. Some of them you've known your whole life, from birth, from grade 1, whatever. In university, it's a great culture shock. You meet the craziest mix of people from all over the world. You meet the smartest people, the most athletic people, the craziest psychotic people. It might feel overwhelming at first, but it is so important to help you understand who you are in this world and how the world actually works. In university, or coming into university from high school, I always felt like I had everything figured out. But you actually, it's a lot more narrow. And then when you get to university, you start really understanding just more about yourself. So moving on, I want to talk about some extracurriculars. There's a lot of different clubs and things that you can join at Western. Some are more pertaining to FIMS students, even though they are open to all students. FIMS students might have more interest in them, such as Western Gazette, which is our school-run newspaper. If you've ever been interested in wanting to write an article or learning how to run a newspaper, you can join Western Gazette, and they'll help you through that whole process. Another cool one was Radio Western. So this is the Radio CHRW in London. And if you've ever wanted to run your own radio show and play your own music, you can actually be a part of Radio Western and broadcast your own show to the city of London. This was pictures of me when I was recording stuff for a different club. So I guess it even has its own little studio, recording studio there, if that's what you're interested in. There's also other fun ones like Western Voice, as you see in the middle. So it's like Western's version of The Voice, and they've had special guests like Simu Liu, Timothy Delgado, the Fung Bros, just a bunch of cool different guests, and obviously the performers from Western. My buddy Will over here on the left was a part of the Kaiser fashion show. So if you've ever had aspirations of becoming a supermodel, you can do that right here at Western, and we have the shows going on every year. And they even did it through COVID. They had a nice Zoom fashion show this year, which was really awesome. There is also a lot of sports. There's the flag football residence tournament, hockey, football, martial arts, whatever you want to do. Everything is available for you at Western. But personally, my favorite clubs are the ones, or my favorite extracurriculars are the ones where I get paid. So that would be stuff like University Student Council or Western Recruitment. So it's things that you see here. On the left, we actually built a little haunted house for Halloween. On the right is we covered the whole football stadium for Purple Fest, and we had A Boogie and Tiger come and perform for us. But I really enjoy Western Recruitment. This is what I'm doing right now because it gives me a chance to talk to people like you and just share my experience and give you a genuine testimony of just how much I enjoy the school, and it's a great time. Lastly, I want to talk about the importance of developing a portfolio of experience. Now, the most important thing about building experiences, I encourage you to pursue as much as you can experience extracurriculars, but it's not just for your resume, and it's not just for your future employer. Do all these experiences because it's you building yourself. When you do these things, it'll help you grow, and at the same time, it'll give you things that you will actually be passionate about that you can talk to your future employers about, instead of trying to find these things to come up with and making stuff up. You can actually build this experience and actually enjoy the stuff and share that in the future. And it'll be something that you take pride in. And carrying off of that, keeping busy is good, but don't overwork yourself. So this is what happened to me in high school. I wanted to get involved in everything. I lost interest in being active by the time I got to first year because I just wanted to focus on academics. And then I got to Western and I realized how many fun stuff there are here. And then I wanted to do everything all over again. So I had to find a way to balance my schedule, and I started learning how to fit everything on my plate as I grew older. But I think the important thing is just make sure that you're doing all the things you love, but you keep your academics there and you keep your social life there, and everything has a good balance. If I could give one piece of advice before I hand it back to Susan, it would be my favorite quote that I got from the legendary Charles Barkley, and it's, "Somebody has to be you, so it might as well be you." Keep that in mind as you go on through your university days, and good luck with everything. And I will pass it back to Susan now.
Okay, thank you very much, Lorenzo. So we're up to reason 7. So this is actually a great place to come if you want to learn how to integrate making media and thinking about it. So while our programs focus primarily on critical media studies, There are lots of opportunities, both in your courses and through extracurriculars, to explore different kinds of media production. So our MIT program included some courses like that teach you about production skills, including graphic design, digital music, video production, and even podcasting, as Lorenzo just mentioned. The focus on integrating theory and practice in our courses helps prepare you to work with others on creative enterprises, either as someone who does creative work or as someone who facilitates that work. So you'll be able to explore your creativity in the great facilities that Josette showed you in her Cribs video. So the strong critical and theoretical focus of our program provides a framework in which to situate your work and its potential impact. And while this integration of theory and creative practice is found throughout the MIT and MPI programs, it is intrinsic to the newly launched Creative Arts and Production program, which is jointly offered with Arts and Humanities and Music. This program foregrounds the collaborative nature of creative work across a range of different disciplines. Students will learn about intellectual property, digital platforms for sharing work, and professional practice for folks who work in some aspect of the creative industries, either as practitioners or in arts and media related businesses. So the CAP program will initially be offered as a major module, which must be taken in conjunction with another major or honor specialization drawn from one of the 3 sponsoring faculties. Students interested in the CAP program take the required first year course, Creative Arts 1020, and then take required creative arts courses, creative arts electives, and other production electives from across the 3 faculties. An MIT CAP double major looks like something that looks, looks something like this over the 4 years. And you can see that your MIT courses are the purple courses, and the magenta courses are the CAP, and the pink courses are the CAP courses. So you can sort of see how that works. All right, so reason 8. FIMS offers you the ability to do a dual degree with Ivy, and I know a lot of people are interested in this. What this means is that you would take 5 years and graduate at the end of that 5 years with both an HBA from Ivy and an honor specialization from FIMS, either in MIT or MPI. So this degree option looks something like this. The first 2 years, you take your regular MIT courses as well as Biz 2257 in second year. At the end of your second year, you apply to the HBA program at Ivy. If you're accepted, your third year is all Ivy all the time. At the end of your third year, you can either decide to continue at Ivy, in which case you graduate at the end of 4 years with an HBA. On the other hand, if at the end of your third year, you think, yeah, I like Ivy, but I really want to finish my honor specialization at FIMS as well, provided that you meet the average requirement, you apply to do the dual degree, which means you have 2 additional years during which you complete the remaining courses for your HBA and the remaining courses for your honor specialization. The total program is 5 years, but you have both an HBA from Ivy and an honor specialization from FIMS. So Mindy Perlmutter, who graduated with a dual degree from Ivy and FIMS in 2010, after almost a decade as a global brand manager at Unilever, she is now a senior account executive in Amazon advertising at Amazon. So reason 9, we take careers as seriously as your parents do. And we make sure that you have the support you need to find a future path that makes sense to you. So while our courses introduce you to many of the skills and much of the content you will need going out into the world, we know that finding your career path in a rapidly and unpredictably changing world and industry may seem like a daunting task. So we recognize that thinking about career starts yesterday and really extends beyond graduation, and that it intersects with your academics as well as with your extra or co-curriculars. So our team in undergrad student services has built career talk into our academic advising sessions. As well, we offer curricular and extracurricular opportunities to get much needed career experience in the form of 4-credit internships in 3rd and 4th year, and the MPI practicum, as well as exchanges and study abroad opportunities that help you internationalize your degree. So in addition to these curricular and extracurricular options, undergrad student services foregrounds career programming like the FIMS Career Camp, an opportunity for first and second year students to hear from industry experts in our very successful annual career conference, during which students in third and fourth year have the opportunity to hear directly from FIMS alumni through keynotes, breakout sessions, that are focusing on different industries and networking events. Each year, students who attend the event talk about the importance of having access to FIMS alumni. This year, our career conference keynote speaker was Erica Kasupanen, who graduated in 2011 and last fall won Survivor. One of the things she shared with our graduating class was how understanding media, how it's made, how it functions, and to create meaning helped her to play and win the game. Our alum are amazing, and the industries and job titles they hold are a testament to how effective and versatile a degree from FIMS can be. So reason 10, the last reason, the most important, you will find your people here. FIMS people, from our dedicated staff and faculty through our ever so cool students to our amazing alum, are what makes this place special. Sure, we have a fantastic building, as you saw in our earlier video, and innovative and engaging programs, as we talked about during this presentation. But at the end of the day, it's the people you'll meet here at FIMS and at Western who will help you grow as a person, who will help you explore what you want to do next with your life, and who will support you every step along the way. Josette, Taya, and Lorenzo all talked about the people at FIMS who've supported them. So just before I turn the stage over to one of our professors, Dr. Joanna Redden, I want to say that I can't wait for all of you to join us here at FIMS next year. And I very much look forward to meeting you all in the fall. So it gives me great pleasure now to introduce Dr. Joanna Redden, who will give you a bit of a taste of the sorts of things that you might be able to explore while you're here at FIMS. Dr. Redden will be talking a bit about her work on artificial intelligence, datification, and social justice.
My name is Joanna Redden. I'm an assistant professor in the Faculty of Information and Media Studies. We have entered what's been called an age of datafication. And what I mean by that, or why people are saying that, is because increasingly businesses and governments are linking up their data sets, making use of newly available data points. They're using advanced computing systems to store and collect all of this data and then combine it in new ways through new computing processes that make it possible for them to correlate and identify patterns through this data. These new data-driven systems are leading to and influencing government decision-making and the administration of government services. Globally, government agencies are using artificial intelligence and automated decision-making in the areas of security, fraud detection, benefit administration, policing, education, taxation, and immigration. While Canada has been slower than other countries, including the US and the UK, to adopt these kinds of systems, government agencies in this country have piloted or implemented AI and automated decision-making systems in the areas of security, surveillance, immigration, housing, policing, and benefits administration. Other areas being considered are children's services, sentencing and corrections, public health, and employment. These systems can be used in ways that improve well-being, health, and services, but they can also be used in ways that discriminate, exacerbate inequality, infringe upon people's rights, socially sort in harmful ways, disrupt democratic processes, and limit accesses to services and intensify surveillance. For example, research shows how bias and injustice can be embedded in these new systems. Automated fraud detection systems have been criticized for disproportionately targeting those with low incomes who are living precariously. In some cases, they have proven prone to error, and as a result have led to tragedy and crisis for thousands who have been wrongly targeted. Predictive technologies used in the area of justice have been proven to disproportionately negatively affect people of color. We know that as governments and businesses increasingly make use of AI and automated decision-making systems, that things are going to go wrong. But there are really important things that we don't know. We often don't know where and how these systems are going to be introduced before they're introduced. There's limited information publicly available about how they work. There is limited research on their impact, particularly on decision makers and on those who are going to be affected by the use of these systems. And there is little effort to meaningfully broaden public debate. The research I've been doing with my colleagues seeks to address these gaps. My research with colleagues here in FIMS and at the Data Justice Lab focuses on investigating the social justice implications of increasing uses of data-driven systems across society, but particularly in relation to public services. Our research reinforces those arguing that how technologies are implemented are not inevitable. In fact, where and how technologies are implemented are sites of struggle. There are competing values, politics, and understandings of rights and justice informing these struggles. Important work remains to be done to determine the kinds of datafied futures we want. The work we've been doing together has involved a number of overlapping initiatives. With my colleagues, I've been mapping and analyzing where and how government agencies are making use of these systems and making this information more publicly accessible. The idea here is that more public debate is not possible without more and better information about where and how these systems are being used. Other work has focused on documenting data harms. This has involved publishing what we call a data harm record. It's online and it's free. And in the record, we keep track of all publicly available accounts of where things are going wrong so that we can gain a better big picture appreciation of the kind of transformations that are happening across our societies and make better decisions about where we're heading and maybe where we want to change course. Another area of research focuses on studying in different countries why government agencies are deciding to pause or cancel their uses of these systems. The idea here is that this is really important information, and we need to learn more about where things are going wrong, again, so that we can make informed decisions about what we want to do and don't want to do. Across all of these research projects, there is an effort to learn more from the activists, the researchers, the journalists, the civil society organizations, and the public servants who are trying to work toward fairer and more equitable uses of these systems. This work provides an indication of how our democratic institutions need to change in order to keep pace with social and technological transformation. Finally, as someone with a journalism background, I and my colleagues are working to make this information as engaging and accessible as possible. And we're trying to do that by publishing our research findings across and in a variety of different formats and areas. So we've been working to co-develop animations, videos, websites. We've been publishing reports in different areas, and we've been trying to publish information in multiple forms of textual-based formats. This research informs my teaching. I teach 2 classes, for example, digital activism and automation in practice, that are available to students across FIMS and across the wider Western community. Thanks so much for your time.
So thanks a lot to Joanna there for wrapping up our last part of the evening. I just want to remind you that we are here to answer any of your questions using the question and answer. If you want to put them in there, we'll stay until we've answered all those questions. I'd also like to thank all of our participants this evening, Dean Henderson, Susan Kanaba, Joanne Redden, the academic advisor teams, Tom, Megan, and Kathy, who've been in the back end answering all of those different questions. If you'd like a chance to come and meet some of those folks, come to that open house on Saturday, May the 7th. I'd also like to thank both Taya and Lorenzo, our student panelists, for making this a great event. But mostly, I would like to thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us learning more about Western University. Join us at future presentations, including your next steps, our residence presentation, or our student experience presentation, or as I mentioned, come see myself and some of my colleagues at the May 7th open house. Please reach out to us anytime on welcome.uwo.ca. I'll be turning off my video for now, but I'll be sticking around to answer any of the questions you may have. Thank you and good luck on your journey to university.